Good morning. Happy Monday. What a great weekend. And welcome into the number one group of five college football show in the history of the world. This is the Group of Five Guys. And our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, share the show with your family and friends. On this episode, we recap an incredible visit to Jacksonville, Alabama, and Jacksonville State University. We got to talk about the mess that has become the college football playoff and that group of 5 or 2 spots that we may or may not get. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five Guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. The Group of Five Guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five guys, right?
Troy has won, it's been a winner, and it's a special place, so it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Look at that, Jeff.
A little Christmas mug.
Beginning to look a lot like Christmas, my friend. Hey, before we get into the show, because we've got a lot to talk about today, ton of voicemails we got to get to. You guys know the deal. Deca Gray Coffee. We got 3 weeks left in this college football season, and let me tell you, Deca Gray has carried us to this point so far. DecaGray.com, promo code GOFG, roast to order coffee. When you put it in your cart and you click purchase, you put in our promo code, you get 10% off. But that's when they roast it. That's when they bag it and ship it directly to your doorstep. Make sure you check out DecaGray.com, promo code GOFG. Also, Levels Sports Picks. Check out that Discord if you want to learn a little bit about sports betting, or you want to dabble a little bit in sports betting, or you're already fully locked in and you're a degenerate like some of us are. Make sure you check that out. Link is in our bio. You'll get all the best plays from college football, NFL, WNBA, NBA, UFC, hockey. All these sports are on there, so check it out. Link is in our bio. Excuse me. Jeff, I'm going to open up to you. We talked about it on Friday morning. Obviously, Jeff's former JUCO coach was shot, and we found out on Saturday that he had passed away. So, Jeff, I'll let you take the floor, my friend.
Yeah, so obviously, the news is really taken not only the sports world kind of by storm, but just the national news media. And, you've read all the reports, you've seen all the things that have come out from former players like myself, just the testimonies and all the things that Coach Beam did and meant, and nothing that I could say, could give it any more than the thousands upon thousands of people that have come out. But I do want to, and I hate talking about myself. I like getting on here talking about the teams and the players and the coaches and all that stuff. So this has nothing to do with me or trying to tell my story, but I feel like I owe it to him to just let you guys know, our fans, our listeners, about what he meant to me. At 17 years old, my dad passed away. I was a senior in high school. He passed away April 14th, and I was graduating that May. And for any kid, growing up, as a young man, your father's one of your most influential people in your life. And, graduating, playing all 4 years, not really getting a lot of calls from coaches, even though being one of the top passers, in the Bay Area, which is De La Salle, Monte Vista, some really prominent high school was I was 5'10", 185 pounds my senior year. So, didn't really get a lot of calls, even though the stats were there. And I'll never forget, that call from Coach Beam when he called me. And, he has this way of talking to you and really was just like, Murph, want you to come to Laney. And, I can't, this is what we can do for you in Laney. I can give you an opportunity. I can help you grow, get better, mature. And you got all the tools to play somewhere at a big time school. And nobody, like I said, nobody had reached out. He was really the only one. And he promised me an opportunity. And he goes, Murph, if any coach promises you more than an opportunity, they're full of shit. I mean, that was the first conversation we had, and it was so genuine. So I go on and play at Laney for 3 years. I gray shirt my first year, and then I play the next 2, and got to spend 3 years with him in meeting rooms, game days, travel. He was the OC. He was my quarterback coach, and ultimately gave me that opportunity. Gave me the chance to get a scholarship at MTSU, which in turn I meet my wife. I have my 3 boys. The businesses that I have here in this town, I owe so much to Coach Beam, and not only for the opportunity, but for the lessons that he taught me. And Coach, I'm forever thankful. I love you, and we'll meet again one day. And I just want everybody to know what he meant to me and all the thousands of people in the Bay Area, in Oakland, across the country. We've seen coaches in the group of 5 posting about his impact on them. Like it's pretty immeasurable what he did for not only the city of Oakland, the Bay Area, for football, and for young men for so long. So thank you, Coach.
Well said, my friend. Well, sorry for you. Yeah, definitely a loss that it was felt across football. I mean, you said it, like so many people that have come out and had stuff to say. You imagine these coaches getting to work with him when recruiting a JUCO kid, or players that got the opportunity there, or anybody that's from the West Coast, knows all about Laney and Beam and all that. So, man, I'm sorry for you, Jeff. We'll try to lighten up the show a little bit as we get to talking ball. So let's do that. Made the trip to Jacksonville, Alabama on Saturday. Let me tell you, man, what an underrated atmosphere and scene in college football. Tucked away up there, you get there by taking, for me, I'm coming up from the South. You go through all these kind of small Alabama towns, driving up through Roanoke, Wedowee. You go through these kind of lake centered towns that you're coming down, Jeff, through. You come through Mont Eagle, come through the mountains. Not a whole lot. Then you get to Jacksonville. Kind of a small, campus. There's not really much going on there. But it's one of those, we always talk about an atmosphere of when you're in the town 4, 5, 6 hours before the game. Do you feel it? Do you everywhere you go, when you go to a restaurant, when you go to Cooter Brown's to get ribs, is that place packed at middle of the afternoon and everybody in there's got Jacksonville State gear on? Yeah. Do you go to Struts after that and it's slammed, standing room only, and everybody's got Jacksonville State gear on? You driving through the town and there's flags everywhere and stickers everywhere and banners and tailgates already set up when you drive by campus several hours before the game. But man, you get that in Jacksonville. You absolutely get it. And I will fully admit that I had no idea. So now I went week 1 and it was real quick. So I didn't get the full experience, but I mean, we get up here and a lot of people get up here and talk about Conference USA like it's this smaller time conference. But you know what? we've been to a couple schools in Conference USA now, and they got great crowd support. And then there's schools in other conferences, whether their teams are winning or not, that don't get good crowd support. So I mean, when you look at some of these teams in Conference USA, in particularly Jacksonville, man, they got a great program. They got a great crowd. They got great support, and they win.
I mean, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. And you mentioned the drive-in, just such a pretty, like, calming drive.
Yeah.
And it's at the base, I'm pretty sure, of the Smoky Mountains. So you don't think of being like in the mountains, but you really are. It's kind of tucked in there. It's really like kind of a hidden gem. And
Yeah.
you talked about the support. Obviously, you saw the crowd on TV and on the videos that we posted. I mean, absolutely just tuned up, cranked up. And I know this is a rivalry, and it got to give credit to Kennesaw State because they traveled.
Yes, they did.
They had a great, student, or not student section, but fan section. The band was also there, but on the opposite side in the very top corner. I thought that was really funny. And then the ribs at Cooter Brown's were top notch, spare ribs. Really cool joint. I love places like that are look kind of like hole in the wall, little shacks, and you go in and you got all the memorabilia up, and it's just a really cool, like, wooden cabin kind of vibe. And then Struts was awesome. Got to go do the facilities tour, Sprouse, and I'll let you kind of get into that, and then we'll get into game time. But yeah, I gotta say, like, we don't know until we get to a place. But man, if it great place to watch a football game, great place to tailgate and pregame, and then obviously the game itself.
Well, yeah, you mentioned pregame and tailgate, and having that place Struts, 100 yards from the stadium is big time.
Oh yeah,
Big time, because you can be in there, you can watch all the other games, you can watch the early games, and then you literally just walk right on over. Facility wise, you can tell everything's new. I mean, they're the first place that's got that LED banner with it's got all the NFL guys, it's got the timeline, the history of the program, it's got their bowl wins, it's got their big, when they beat Florida State, and it's got the cool part about it is it's got highlights of all these moments in their program history just playing at all time. Hey, Jacksonville State beats Florida State a couple years ago. The game's just on at all times on this thing when it goes to that. You got great players from the past. You got, what was it, 39 All-Americans or something like that in the past. You got highlights of them playing as you walk through that building. As soon as you walk into the building, it's got that, that bright LED locker room, everything's bright and red, and Jax State just plastered everywhere. The branding is all over the place. It was a quick tour. And then the crazy part about it is indoor facility on the way, new weight room on the way. And the indoor, because I said, okay, now is this going to be a real indoor, fully enclosed, or is this going to be, which is fine. I like them too. Is it going to be kind of the UAB style, Georgia Southern style, Troy style, where it's open? And they said, no, fully enclosed indoor will be at Jacksonville State, along with that building. The cool part about the place, Jeff, is, the press box is like built into dorms. So you're literally in the parking lot of the stadium, and it doesn't really, outside of the fact that it says, what is it, Amherst or something stadium, other than the fact that there's a huge bank logo on the side of it, you're like, I don't know, where's the stadium at? And then you get up there, and it's like what we always talk about. It's right on top. I mean, the fans are right on top of the players. There's not a bad seat in the building. It's, relatively fully enclosed. I mean, there's some corners that are open, but I mean, it's got that intimate feel. And yeah, they set a record 24 something thousand, which again is perfect. 24,000 full is so much better than even 30,000 in a 60,000 foot, and everybody's wanting to, we got room for expansion. I think you need to shrink these stadiums down.
No doubt.
But just an awesome atmosphere. The band there is so important to them. Obviously, that was cool. It was interesting. The bands were kind of reminded me of two bands, battle of the bands or whatever you want to call it. But and then the game itself. I mean, first half, we're sitting there thinking, I don't know how the hell Jacksonville State's winning this game by 2 touchdowns because Kennesaw's doing whatever they want offensively, but you have 3 pretty bad turnovers that really cost you the game.
And we kept going back to that point because Amari Odom and that offense, they looked explosive. When it wasn't there, he was taking off and running. And I didn't realize, you don't get till you're in front of these guys and you're on the field, especially. Amari Odom is a problem. I mean, he is big. He covers a ton of ground because he's so tall and long legs. But, man, you get down in the red zone and give credit to Jax State, bowing their neck and just bend, don't break. Got interceptions, got turnovers, and then I want to give a ton of credit to Creel for Jax State. I mean, obviously, Cam Cook, those receivers, Steiner, but, man, I thought he played one of the better games he's had this year, especially throwing the ball in the pocket, sliding around, stepping up, really looking to throw, and then taking off and making some plays, unscheduled plays with his legs. It was such a fun game to watch. It was back and forth. You have the crazy play right before halftime that really threw so much momentum to Jax State's side. And as we say it all the time, the defensive players are just some of the most unintelligent football minds I think that are out there. And I don't want to cast a stereotype, but damn it, you have 3 guys right there. They throw a Hail Mary, and instead of just batting the ball down, they all go for the interception, and the ball pops up right into Jax State's receiver's hands, and he just runs right in front of us for a touchdown. And we're just like, what just happened? And then they go for 2, and Cunningham gets in. And man, they just took all the momentum into halftime.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things on that. So one, not only do you bat the ball down, right? Obviously that's football 101, but that throw was about 10 yards short of the end zone. So even if he catches it normally, they're not getting in, but they all 3 go for it looked like when, 2 outfielders are both running at each other and neither one of them called the other one off. And then, something about Creel that I love. Now, maybe his coaches don't love this, but he don't slide. Every time he runs, even if he's going to give himself up and go down, he's diving forward for more yardage. You had that on the 1 touchdown early in the first quarter, I think it was. You had it on multiple first down runs he had, where everything he's doing, he's diving forward. So he's maximizing every play instead of sliding and taking, probably 4 or 5 yards off of the end of his runs if he slides. But, we talked to Coach Trickett a little bit before the game, and he said, not other words, but Creel's got that. He's got that dog, that swagger that some of these guys have. And he looked good, but man, what environment too. We didn't even touch on their pyro is world class at Jacksonville State.
Dude, the pyro, the announcer to the DJ to the band, like it all contributes to the in-game atmosphere, and to have every section of it dialed in is why they've been successful as a program. The culture is there. They can get recruits there. Like I can't say enough about it. I was blown away.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing from a program standpoint that you can take, you can be excited about, and they know this already if you're a Jacksonville State fan, is their location. While it is kind of tucked away, it's like almost like a little mountain, it's also 45 minutes outside of Birmingham, an hour outside of Atlanta, like 3 hours from Nashville, 2 hours, you come down to South Alabama, you come down to Opelika, Auburn, Phoenix City. I mean, you want to talk about just in the center of a fertile recruiting ground, along with a winning culture, along with an atmosphere that people want to play in front of. I mean, when you're recruiting against Kennesaw State, okay, which they'll start getting better atmospheres, but their stadium is a soccer, it's a small soccer stadium, and you're competing against UAB, and you're competing against probably Troy, and you want to talk about an atmosphere, and Jacksonville State's is better than any of those. So it's a special place. Now, we got to get into the CFP before the committee gets into it tomorrow night, Jeff. I mean, this is it is so frustrating. But you think I don't think anybody in the American wants to make the playoff. That's what I think. I don't think they want to go. I don't think they want to go to Athens or wherever they're going to have to go to play in that first round game. But South Florida, this has been their MO. Before we get into talking about Navy, because actually, let's do this. Let's talk about Navy first, because Navy came to play. And everybody wrote off Navy because North Texas beat them pretty good, and then Notre Dame beat them pretty good without Blake Horvath. And everybody looked at their strength of schedule in the beginning of the season, which, by the way, is kind of the same thing people are doing to James Madison right now from the American. You did this to Navy in your own conference, and now here we are. They just took out your best team, more than likely. And credit to Horvath, credit to Heidenreich, but I want to give a credit to the backup quarterback, Braxton Woodson, because that guy comes in for a Navy legend in like the most important part of the game, and he doesn't flinch, man. He's probably not as good. He doesn't throw it as good as Horvath does, but he can run it, and he made some big time plays to put that really to keep them ahead and kind of put that game away. And again, we're probably still writing off Navy, but this is a team with 2 losses, one to Notre Dame, who's going to make the playoff, and one to North Texas, which might be the reason they get left out, because the head-to-head and the championship game. But man, I got to tell you, Navy's good. And, pat ourselves on the back here. We said they'd be really good, and then they'd get into this meat of their schedule. Now, you look at Memphis. Does Memphis mail it in? If Navy gets that win over Memphis, I think Navy might find themselves in a championship game.
Absolutely, they will. And you have to give credit to Newberry and that offense and that defense. Like they came ready to go, and I was a little concerned that I wasn't sure that offense could go score for score with South Florida, and I was wrong, because they absolutely did. Yeah. The defense got stops when they needed it, turned Brown over. And you mentioned Woodson, Horvath. I love Eli Heidenreich.
Yeah.
He's making a highlight type play every single game. Like, he had the one-handed catch and almost runs it all the way for a touchdown. He's just so much fun to watch. And you just got to give all the credit to the mids. They are right here, the top of the American, in the heart of their schedule, battling it out. And they play like this. That offense, man, they were gashing South Florida. And we've talked about all year how the athletes they have on defense, especially, didn't matter. They were just like clockwork, baby. The mids now, keep an eye out for them.
Well, and for South Florida, this is the concern that we've had for them all season long. Is they're so fast, they're so talented, they're so good, but they tend to coast. And when you play a team like Navy, that already is going to limit your possessions. So now you get down early, you turn it over early, kind of mess around early, and now you're down a couple scores. So you're trying to play catch up the whole game, knowing full well, like you're going into the fourth quarter down 2 scores, and you're thinking, like, we might not get it twice. Like, and so that's the concern, and that panic starts to set in. Now, I don't think they did. Not offensively, they didn't. Obviously, South Florida came back and pretty much did go score for score with them, but they just could not. Defense could not stop them. Could not stop them. No matter, passing, running, quarterback running, backup quarterback running, nothing. Couldn't do anything.
I mean, so they went through their ass like shit through a tin horn.
Yes, they did. yes, they did, Jeff. But so Navy now in a prime spot. And then you go look at North Texas. They played UAB. I tell you, I love the play calling of North Texas week in and week out. I've said this before on here, but I love that they beat you in whatever way's working that day. You know, if you're running the ball, they'll run it. They'll give Hawkins the ball 27 times for 189 and 5 touchdowns like they did on Saturday. Maybe the run, maybe the pass game's working, and they'll throw for 600 yards in a game. They do whatever they want. And again, you look at North Texas. We talk about that South Florida loss, and there's just that. They haven't had these lapses like these other teams have. They had a 2-3 minute lapse against South Florida that cost them that game, and South Florida was able to turn it on. Other than that, North Texas hasn't really had a let up game, at least not late in the season into conference play. And when it comes to the resume and statement wins and how you're going to manage these tiebreakers and how the committee's going to look at things, you're scoring 50 points every week. And then, you got Tulane who, yeah, they won, but it wasn't really a statement win per se. Yeah, North Texas is good, man. I'd be comfortable. I'd be comfortable thinking that they could score some points if they make the playoff.
Yeah, and obviously the Navy-Memphis game is big coming up. Now, North Texas, they have at Rice and Temple at home, which Temple can be a spoiler. But North Texas is going to be favored in all those games. I'm interested to see the line. I hadn't looked at it. If Memphis is going to be favored, and then Tulane also. My point is, it's looking like if everybody wins out, you're going to have them all at one loss.
Yeah. East Carolina too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you get to the head-to-head computer simulation stuff where Tulane didn't play. They didn't play either North Texas or Navy. And vice versa. So then,
but Tulane would have head-to-head over East Carolina. North Texas would have head-to-head over Navy. But yeah, I don't.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's come down to the committee that hadn't watched a game all year. Hey, but speaking of Memphis and East Carolina, yeah, this game, pretty even game. We look at the box score. I mean, kind of a back and forth, pretty good game. And that's why you get essentially a walk-off touchdown for East Carolina. But these receivers for the Pirates, man, Spalding, both the Smith kids, Mangrum, they make some big-time in-traffic catches. And yeah, I hate to say it, they bail Hauser out a couple of times. And they continue to do so. I mean, they've got 4 guys at least that could catch anything. They get open. They got a step almost every time, it seems like. East Carolina, we knew that'd be tough for Memphis going over there.
Well, all their receivers, man, they're so big and tall. So
yeah.
You got to give a credit to those guys. And honestly, Hauser, too, for having faith, especially on that game-winning touchdown. Like, corner DB's back was turned. It's man coverage. Let's go. Let's throw him a back shoulder, go ball. And incredible catch, win, ECU. I mean, just this was a pretty darn clean game by East Carolina. I mean, it was knotted up. It was really close, down to the wire, down to that last drive. And this was great football. I thought Memphis was going to have it. I did. And then, man, that last drive, you just could feel it, man. That offense went out there for East Carolina and was calm and was just driving the ball downfield. And then when that offense is playing like that, they're so difficult to beat.
Yeah, well, and this is so interesting when you look at Memphis and East Carolina, who both are going to have. They both have the same exact record right now overall. Well, you look at the expectation versus the result. If you're East Carolina, maybe Mr. Juan will correct me if I'm wrong here, but you got to be ecstatic to be November 17th and you're right in the mix. You're tied with everybody else at the top of the conference in the American. And you probably I thought they'd be just below it, right? I thought they'd be, better, but not not going to win the conference. And then if you're Memphis, you're supposed to be the favorite. And so even though I don't know if they're mathematically eliminated yet. I mean, I think pretty close.
3
to
losses. You'd have to have a complete.
Yeah.
fall
Yeah.
apart.
They are. They are because I was thinking they had one non-conference loss, but yeah. So you have 3 losses, and it's like you feel like it's a complete waste. And that's where, this is a topic for another day, and I'm not here calling for anybody's job or any of that. But it seems like sometimes the hot coach names they're just the coach of a team that's got a ton of resources and has a good roster. And that's going to be the challenge. If you're one of these group of 5 schools that has to find a coach to replace your coach, that's the guy you want to find. You want to find the guy that's winning 7 or 8 games at a place. And I'm not saying East Carolina's this, but you were in 7 or 8 games at a place that typically is not good or doesn't have resources or doesn't have any facilities, doesn't have NIL, and that guy's winning games. Now you hire him and give that guy the resources. Now you've got a home run. But it seems like the easy thing to do is just hire whoever's got the best record. We're going to hire that guy. But 2 coaches can have the same record, and one is overachieved and one is underachieved.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, East Carolina, big win. Then we talk about Tulane. They were up 2 scores pretty much the whole game, but it wasn't as they were in control. I'll say that. They definitely controlled the game. I mean, you never felt like FAU had much of a chance at it. But for FAU, again, at UVL camp, 3 interceptions. So, outside of the turnovers, they really moved the ball. They threw it all over the place.
Yeah, and this is where I think you just got to give a lot of credit to Tulane's defense. Just shows how good they are, and they can take you away pretty much whenever they choose. And then Retzlaff thought he had a solid day throwing the ball, did have the 1 interception, but this is how Tulane has played all year for the most part, outside of the one game where offensively they were just blowing the doors off. Solid on defense. Offense does enough, controls the line of scrimmage and scores enough to win the game. It's not flashy. It's not, it's not super explosive with these massive, huge plays, but they're just going to drive it. They're going to score and they're going to play good defense. And it's, because you'd like to see them win. Now we're getting into the, picky semantic stuff, but I feel like they should have won maybe 17 or 20 points, but it doesn't matter. You get the dub, moving on, still 1 loss in conference and you're at the top.
Well, I'll tell you when the winning by how much matters. When the other team that you're worried about wins 58-10 and allows one rushing yard. 1 rushing yard total. Team total, Jeff. I mean,
that's nuts.
Y'all don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear that James Madison's good. I get it. I totally get the schedule. But you know what, Jeff? The only people that argue for strength of schedule are teams that lose games they shouldn't lose. That's where you talk about strength of schedule, because you would, again, Memphis, you should beat UAB. Tulane, you shouldn't have lost to UTSA. I get it. Alamo Dome, in conference, whatever. South Florida, you shouldn't lose. Shouldn't have blew the game against Memphis. You're still right there in this. You're only talking about strength of schedule when you lose games that you shouldn't lose. And James Madison, they knew they needed some style points. They got style points. App State is down this year, but still App State, and it's still a brand. And I promise, the committee did not watch that game. They haven't watched App State all year long, and they're going to say, "Oh my God, 58-10, James Madison's really good. Move them up." I mean, but they are really good, and they're the team that, from week to week, especially on defense, has come to play every single week this season.
When you can run the ball and play stout defense, especially at the point of attack. This is why 3 weeks ago, I believe it was, or maybe it was 2, I can't remember, I said James Madison, in my humble opinion, is the team that gives us the best chance in the college football playoff, and they should be the rep if they win out. And again, I know it's at, but it is a rival. Typically, these rival games they tend to be closer. Not this one. I mean, they came out and had 600 yards of total offense. Matthew Sluka even got in the end zone rushing the ball. They can throw it. They can run it. They are, I don't want to say tricky offensively, but they're unique offensively. They do a lot of different formations, a lot of different shifts, a lot of different window dressing. And then on defense, they just punch you in the mouth.
Jeff, I don't doubt this is what everybody's going to say. This is what everybody in that's a fan of a team in the American. So 3 weeks ago, everyone said, there's no question, Memphis, South Florida, Tulane, North Texas, Navy, they're all better than James Madison. And then 2 weeks ago, they dropped a couple of those teams out of it. Well, there's no question South Florida, Tulane, Navy, North Texas are better than James Madison. Now, there's no way, there's no question Tulane and Navy are better than James Madison. So, okay, what happens when Memphis beats Navy next week? There's no question Tulane is better than James Madison. Then what happens when Tulane loses in the American Championship game? Are you going to say, okay, yeah, you're right. You were right. James Madison's really good. And I don't doubt that. If you lined them up and they both played their A+ game, I don't doubt South Florida beats James Madison. I don't doubt Tulane beats James Madison. I don't doubt Memphis beats James Madison. But when I look at a season that's now, most of these teams are 10 games in, and 5 or 6 of them have not even been close to an A+ game, why would I have confidence that that team is going to go to Athens, Georgia, Tuscaloosa, freaking Austin, Texas, Indiana, and have a chance, especially if they got to go somewhere up north? Especially, let me tell you something. I saw Tulane play a cold game last year, and it didn't go so hot. Okay, I know there were some circumstances, but if there's one team that I trust to go in any weather, any atmosphere, and show up and play defense, it's James Madison. Yeah, I'm sorry. Again, I want 2 teams in. I would love that. I'd love to see James Madison and the American champ get in. But when the favorite in the American loses every single week, then what do you want us to do? I can't get up here and say that Texas shouldn't be in because they lost to Georgia, Ohio State, and somebody else, and then say that an American team should get in. And then when they lost to UTSA and Ole Miss, I can't do it. That's not good faith. It's just not. So anyway,
and it's not, and I know we got to move on, and it's not like, yeah, everybody's like, oh, well, the Sun Belt's worse than the American, and that's fine. Top to bottom, yeah, I probably agree with you. And like you said, Sprouse, if James Madison plays Memphis, South Florida, I bet you it's a damn good game, and it comes down to the wire. I'm not saying that they beat those teams 58-10, but when you're looking at a week in and week out of consistent ball on the field, it's been James Madison. And I'll take consistency week in and week out with my eye test over the others.
See, this is what I'll just to answer like Juan and Morgan are saying in the post, but nobody's saying Tulane's bad because they lost to Ole Miss, and nobody's saying Tulane's bad, but Tulane gets hurt because they get smoked by a not very good UTSA. That's the thing that it's about. Like, we know that the conference is better, and you've played some better teams outside of your schedule, but that's not who's making you look bad. It was the bad team that you played bad against and lost to. So I don't know. And I get it. I get it. Like, if James Madison is playing, maybe they don't play very well and they still win 58-10. Maybe if they're playing a team that's better than App. But again, like, I don't know. It was UAB, it was UTSA, right? Those were the teams that have made the top of the conference kind of look bad per se. And again, I still think there should be 2 teams. I think 2 should get in. Yeah. I kind of hope it's North Texas because I think that's the most interesting the most interesting debate, because North Texas lost to South Florida and they didn't play the other quote unquote top teams in the conference, but they'll have to beat one of them in a championship game. So if you have one loss, North Texas with a December 5th win over Tulane or something like that, and now Southern Miss got crushed. So whoever James Madison plays in the Sun Belt, probably still going to be Southern Miss. It's not going to look as good. That's the interesting debate here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We got to move.
we got to roll. We got to roll. Other than that, in the American, UTSA beat Charlotte 28-7. Tulsa, big win over Oregon State. Everybody's trying to make a statement against these future Pac-12 teams. It seems like, they're all having a tough time. At Conference USA, we already talked about Jax State, Kennesaw State. 100 miles of hate, Jeff. I mean, it's a sad state when we lose by 3 touchdowns and we're like, we played better.
It really is. I mean, I thought Roman stepped in for an injured Vadiato and played better, but ultimately, man, Western Kentucky, they took it to us. There's not much more to say than that. Like, they are a better program than we are, and it freaking pisses me off and pains me to say that, but they are.
Yeah, by a lot right now.
Mhm.
By a whole lot. You had New Mexico State went to Knoxville. They lost 42-9. UTEP, Missouri State still rolling 38-24.
7-3, Missouri
Yeah.
State.
I know. Good ball club. Good ball club. Conference USA is in good hands with these quote unquote newcomers. I can tell you that much, because the OGs in Conference USA certainly aren't holding up their weight, other than Western. FIU, big win over Liberty. 1 win away from bowl eligibility, and Willie Simmons, year 1. So not that I want anybody to get hired away, but you go win 7 or 8 games at FIU and versus winning 7 or 8 games at some of these other programs. That's saying something. And then Sam Houston, Jeff.
How about it?
Back-to-back wins for the Bearcats. Big win over Delaware. Delaware's they've started reeling a little bit, it seems like.
Delaware could easily be a 7 or 8
could.
win team, and probably should be, but man, turnovers have really hurt them. Hell of a first year in Conference USA. But when you leave that much meat on the bone and you have very close games that you let go, it's not good.
Yep. And then Washington State over La Tech. That is a very underrated game this week, which there were some reports early talking about game day going to James Madison. They turned out to not be true. But North Texas crushed Washington State. So maybe that's something to look at. And you look at the head-to-head and the comparisons. We'll see what James Madison does versus them this week. In the MAC, Eastern Michigan beat Ball State. Ball State no longer controls their own destiny in the MAC. The MAC is fantastic, isn't it? It's
Wide
so
open.
good. So good. Mountain West, UConn, another big win. How about UConn, by the way? Undefeated at home. They have 3 overall losses. I believe all 3 of them were overtime losses. I mean, put UConn in the playoff, buddy. I put UConn in there.
But this is where not being in a conference hurts them, because they can't win their conference and be eligible for the playoff. They have to be like an independent Notre Dame bid. It's Sprouse. I'm going to blame this on you. You jinx him. You jinx Fagiano. He gets his first interception of the year, but the Huskies get the win. 8-3. 8-3.
It's funny too, because it's against Air Force, who's had arguably the worst defensive backfield in the country all year long. New Mexico, another win over Colorado State. They're 7-3. The game that was about as shocking as any over the weekend, Nevada just absolutely smoking San Jose State. I don't know what happened. I didn't watch it. Not gonna watch it. But San Jose State just I'm
So
totally disappointed in that performance. Utah State, UNLV. This is the game that I was watching / listening to on the drive home from Jacksonville. 3 missed field goals in a row in that game that all would have won it. Utah State has a chance to win it at the end of regulation. They miss. UNLV misses one in overtime. Then Utah State misses another one in overtime. Then Utah State goes and kicks one, And then UNLV scores on the next play of overtime to win that game 29-26. UNLV, man, they've found ways to win.
Yeah.
As good or bad as they've looked at times, they found ways. And
They did.
I don't know what's up with the Mountain West right now. I haven't really looked at the standings, but you're down to San Diego State and UNLV, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Bryson Barnes, I want to shout him out. He's a walking highlight reel, almost 400 yards of total offense. And they should have got this win. Oh, just brutal. Kickers.
Yeah. San Diego State, dominant defensive performance over Boise. Boise is I can't I know they got their quarterbacks out, but it just seems like I've seen a lot of their fans are complaining about it too. They're just not creative at all.
Yeah.
Offensively. It was kind of like that a little bit last year too. And it's a different coordinator. But I think everything's, Madison probably regressed this year. The offensive line probably regressed a little bit this year. The defense has been better. But
you had just terrible weather in this game.
Yeah.
And that's why you have Denegal with 17 total passing yards. But man, you got to give credit to San Diego State. Like this game, the weather helped and fit the way they want to play anyways.
Yeah.
But 8-2, 5-1 in the Mountain West are right at the top, ready to get a berth in the Mountain West Championship game.
Did we get a call from San Diego State John today?
Sure did. We got a ton of calls.
All right, well, let's get to them here. Fresno, they're also in the mix, by the way. Fresno State, after that bludgeoning they took from Kansas in week 1, they've looked pretty good.
Quietly, just steadily,
just being Fresno, dude.
Being Fresno State.
Yeah. In the Sun Belt, Marshall 30, Georgia State 18, South Alabama 26, Monroe 14, Texas State 41, Southern Miss 14. I mean, this is the Texas State team that we thought we had in the preseason. And that's where, again, you have to question what happened here with this team. Because obviously the talent's there. There was rumors about Kenny probably not being able to make it there and going elsewhere. And now you're like, well, how did we fail so miserably this season?
Yeah, well, you have no Braxton, which I didn't read that anywhere. And the defense holds them to 14 points, and the offense, Brad Jackson gets the 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 throw-in. Yeah, this was a big letdown by Southern Miss because it doesn't put it this way. It doesn't affect them. They're still in. Going to be the rep on the West.
But now they got to beat Troy.
Yeah.
Troy lost last week and kind of spread that, made Southern Miss like 2 games ahead. And now that changes big time. Coastal losing to Georgia Southern. So James Madison has clinched the East and I believe has clinched a host spot for the Sun Belt Championship game. So they can't. They got to go win by 50 again. They do. I mean, they do. I think when they go play Coastal. But Georgia Southern 45. They're just totally different. Totally different in Statesboro. Totally different team.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. But anyway, Jeff, we got to get to some of these voicemails. We'll get to as many as we can. 615-900-4286.
Group of 5 guys. Chuck T here. How about a hell yeah for the James Madison Dukes taking App State to the absolute belt to ass woodshed. Also, congrats JMU, Sun Belt East champions. Even though it hadn't been officially announced, I think with Southern Miss's loss, it looks like JMU will host Sun Belt Championship. Over 600 yards of offense to App's, I think maybe 140. Over 300 yards on the ground. It was men against boys. This now makes it so both App State Marshall and Georgia Southern all have 2-2 records now with JMU since JMU joined the Sun Belt. So I'd like to see that even things up a little bit. But yeah, maybe App State should take a page out of the JMU playbook regarding building rosters with hungry, chip on their shoulders, FCS all-stars, and guys that really feel like they have something to prove as opposed to some SEC retreads. Maybe take a note of that. But anyway, let's keep this thing going. Just an absolute crazy football day yesterday. Man, I don't even know how all the scenarios play out, but all JMU has to do is win. Just keep winning, and we'll let everything else fall where it may. But anyway, just an absolute, it wasn't even a game. It was a unstoppable force. So anyway, y'all have a good one, and take care. Go Dukes. Go Group of 5, guys.
Appreciate you, Chuck. Yeah, it looks like Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Maybe we need to get up there, Jeff.
Maybe. Conference championship?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I already took my PTO for Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that week I already took. So
nice.
Get somewhere. All those games are on Friday.
Yeah, I don't like that.
All the Group of 5 except the MAC, they're playing on Saturday at noon, buddy. The MAC they don't care. We do what we do. We'll play it in Detroit, but yeah, they're all on Friday, and then all the Power 4 ones are on Saturday. It used to be, didn't it? Used to be like only I think the Mountain West and the Pac-12 played on Friday night. I thought, and then they've switched it. I don't know if it's probably ESPN doing it to try to maximize ratings, which is fine. I just hope that the people that matter, like the committee, will sit there and watch on Friday. But anyway, what else we got?
Let's keep it rolling. And guys, not trying to limit anybody, but we got a couple two-parters. We'll play them this week, but moving forward with as many voicemails as we're getting, which we love, try and keep it under that 3-minute mark. Set yourself a timer and just get that thing in under that 3-minute mark.
Group of 5 guys, this is Jared. I guess I'll be the resident roadrunner. Dear Charlotte, thank you for letting us win and getting that road monkey off our back. And I'm not going to apologize that it was you. I hope you guys have a better year next year. And I also haven't forgotten, there was some nerd a couple weeks ago called in talking shit about my university. Why don't you just hold that L, bro? Cry about it. At least I didn't have to go to school in that hellhole Houston, but in fact went to school in the best city in the entire country. May God bless the Group of 5 guys. God bless the Group of 5, and I hope you'll have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jared. I love it.
Yeah,
I love the back and forth.
We got to get at least one from every fan base that can be the resident, kind of the leader of that. And then every once in a while you sprinkle in all the other ones that call in. Mm-hmm. That's what we need.
That's it. Appreciate
Try to roll
Jared.
through these.
Group of 5 guys, it's Andrew here. I just need to tell you how my week as an App State fan goes. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I get really excited. Maybe still drowning out the sorrows from the last game that we lost. But on Monday, Tuesday, around Wednesday, Thursday, I'm starting to get really, really excited. There's hope in the air, you know. I try so hard to not care. I try so hard. But Thursday, I'm getting really excited. I'm thinking, man, we have a new week, a new chance to just turn the table around to look like App State football again. And Saturday gets here. And I think, why do I love this sport? Why do I love this sport? Every week, I sit down, I watch this game, and I have to think to myself, what am I doing what has God put on my heart to make me endure this pain as a fan of this sport? Like, I don't want to like this sport. I don't. I want to be able to do my work on Saturdays, to not focus, to spend time with my girlfriend. I don't want to have to devote 12 hours of every Saturday to watching this sport, but I have to. I love it. I love college football. I love it. And every week is like going through a new breakup all over again. All over again. I mean, down 27-0 at half, we come out on the first drive. We fake a punt? We fake a punt on 4th and 11 on our own half of the field? What are we doing? What are we doing? Gosh. Now, this game's not over. I mean, it's 34-0. It's like we want to get down as big as possible to see if we can come back. I don't know what kind of game we're playing, but it ain't football. This ain't football. This is... I don't know if we're out here thinking we're playing soccer, European football. I don't know. Ain't football. I'm just so glad I'm a Duke grad student because through a lottery system, I was able to get season tickets to basketball games. So that's the only thing that I'm looking forward to the rest of this winter and this fall is Duke basketball started back up, and those are always a lot of fun. So I have season tickets to basketball games. I've never been a basketball guy. I've always liked basketball, but I've always been a football guy. I've always been a football guy. Jeez. You don't know how hard it is going to school. All right, Group of 5 guys. That 3-minute timer was a good indication that I need to calm down. I need to not hold y'all any longer to hear me whine and complain about this sport and ultimate in God's salvation and God's salvific love and grace to us. This sport probably doesn't do me any good. I mean, sorry. But I love it. You know, I'm heartbroken. But next Thursday's going to roll around. We're like, who are we going to beat? We're going to be 4-9 or whatever we are. We're going to be terrible. We're going to be like, who are we going to beat? I was so delusionally confident we were going to beat James Madison. I mean, nothing to lose. Put it all out there on the line. Like, we're going to beat them. They always, like, a couple years ago, last year or whatever, when they were undefeated and they choked against us. We ruined their season. I was so confident. And here we are down 34-0. Jeez. Who am I? Who am I? I try to ignore it, but I need to stop. I know you guys have your limit. Have a good day, Group of 5 guys. Thank you. I love y'all. And I love football. I love App State football. I'm just frustrated.
Oh my gosh,
Jeff, I'm crying.
That might be voicemail of the season this year. I mean,
God.
That is great stuff.
You know, isn't that spot on though? The thing about this game of football is everybody feels the same way about their team. You know,
no doubt.
There's gonna be one team that wins the whole thing, and everybody else is there's gonna be something that they saw that was coach did this, play calling was this, or players are this. So only one team out of 136 or whatever it is now is going to feel like that. But, oh, man, yeah, I think you need to give him – can you set the phone to where when that phone number calls, it gives him as much time as he wants? We got clip that.
We're going to clip – I need to soundbite a couple of those
hey, no doubt.
clips he had in there.
No
Appreciate you, Andrew. Let's keep it going.
Hey, boys.
No.
Steve's writing Twitter. Thankfully, I haven't watched much of this football game. But just looking at the box score, we're into the fourth quarter. We're down 44-0. 12 rushing yards, 17 passing yards, 29 total yards. I don't know what to say. There's nothing really that can be said. I'm ready for basketball. That's the worst I've ever seen an Appalachian football team. In a box score, at least. I've watched bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've seen us complete a pass in the little bits that I've watched. It's the worst I've ever seen. So, hope you all have a good evening.
We feel for you, Stu.
Yeah. Stu is on that. Andrew on that fired up, upset. Stu is on that just like, don't care anymore.
Yeah. You get to that point. You do.
You really do. You absolutely do. Now, it's going to be interesting at App, man. At some point, at what point, if ever, do they keep losing and they start to lose that home field environment that they have?
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. I don't think so.
It's year one.
But also there's, I'm not saying anything about coach or anything. But last year wasn't very good, and this year's not doing very good. And the landscape of college football, can App State can they compete to get guys? I know you get them there, you get them to App, and they visit, you'll get them. But when these kids only care about a paycheck or only care about getting a free car or something like that, then is App the place for that? So you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Hang in there, Stu. We love you, buddy.
Group of 5 guys. Love your piece on Feinbaum this morning. Never liked him. He was always SEC and nobody else. There is no way Feinbaum is going to go into a Sam Houston pregame locker room and tell them kids they are nobodies. There's no way he's going to do that. He is scared. And yes, he's scared. USF beats Florida. Memphis beats Arkansas. His SEC narrative is falling apart, and he is scared. His brain is burning, hence his recent rant. Thank you, Group of 5 guys. Thank you for representing.
And he's got another one. We'll play that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is kind of post game.
Well, the talking heads it's always like clockwork. Like yesterday, a lot of the this wasn't necessarily the ESPN group, but this was mostly like the Barstool group. They all kind of like clockwork. They all came out and posted almost the same thing. Oh, we're wasting playoff spot on a Group of 5 team. What? But it only happens after one of their cash cows loses.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alabama lost on Saturday. So then everybody had to come out with a statement. And again, I would say this, that game didn't matter at all. We were sitting there at the bar in Jacksonville, and I was like, if Oklahoma loses, they're probably out.
Yeah.
So Alabama loses, they're going to drop 3 or 4 spots. And then when they win next week, they'll jump back up 3 or 4 spots. These games don't matter at all. I don't know why we act like meaningful games. Those games don't matter at all because they're going to put in who they want to put in for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to use whatever metric is available to sell it. So anyway.
That's right. Let's get to a couple more.
Group of 5 guys. Morgan here, Rising and Tulane fan. I had to wait a couple hours to get my voice back a little bit, but how about that for a big homecoming dub? First, I want to shout out to the fans, 30,000 strong, packing Yeoman Stadium. Everything from the packed out quads and tailgating to the stadium to the students coming out. Just what an awesome day. If you're an olive and blue fan, that was just incredible. Shout out to the defense. FAU, got to give them credit, and that's an air raid offense that I think has a chance to grow in the next couple of years. We bent a bunch, but we didn't break largely. Held them to a relatively modest amount of yards given the type of offense that they run, force some great turnovers, a couple of fourth down stops. I really thought, given the circumstances of what they were facing, the defense largely played pretty well. Really impressive showing from the offense. Again, another pretty balanced attack. Jake had some off throws, but he rolled him out a couple of times, and he throws some absolutely gorgeous touchdown passes. And Jamari McClure, breakout game, 10 carries, 95 yards, and a big touchdown. Really nice to see that from him. I think he can do some special things as the season winds down here. He's got a really good burst about him. He can hit the edge, hit those holes, and really take off. So, all in all, really impressive day. Hopefully some guys that got banged up can heal up relatively quick. Heading to Temple, I think that's another sneaky trap game there, facing Eli Simon. But I think this time, we played a relatively complete game from a packed house. So I couldn't be happy with this team. And now we're in the position to potentially host a conference championship game. And look, I'm just going to say it, whether it's us or North Texas. I mean, the body of work that our teams are doing in American is above all else. And I'm sorry. I mean, 58-10 win against App State, that shouldn't really move the needle for the committee. We'll see on Tuesday, but really happy for the win. Roll a damn wave. RMFW. Let's keep it going.
Appreciate you, Morgan.
I will say this, the sentiment around Tulane, what a difference the last 2 weeks versus 3 weeks ago after that UTSA game. And yeah, man, hey, credit to that crowd, sellout crowd there. They've got to keep that going. They're not fair weather per se, but it's got to be like a big game for the Tulane faithful to get up for. And they need to keep that week in and week out. Every game is big. Try to make the playoffs, man.
That's right. All right, let's get to our last one. Then we'll get the rest of them on Wednesday.
Hey, group of five, it's John calling. Saturday night. Hey, I want to start this phone call out really by not talking about college football of games today, but of the unfortunate, desperate, horrible shooting of the Laney coach in Oakland. And I know that, Jeff, you played there, and I remember watching Last Chance U, and that guy was a good guy, and just horrible and terrible, and just, oh my gosh, it's just devastating. But with that being said, and my condolences to everybody there, it's just horrible. I'll just say this, San Diego State and Boise State, two of the top teams in the Mountain West by standings. But if you watch the game, can you tell me, is either team even good? No, San Diego State win the game. But are you kidding me? This was not a good football game. Without Lucky Sutton, I don't even know what San Diego State would do. But, hey, they got the W. Just not entertaining. It was just, oh, man, run the ball up the middle, run the ball up the middle, run the ball up the middle. I mean, does any offensive coordinator have any skill and vision on any creativity? I thought Sean Lewis was supposed to be this offensive genius. Hey, they got the W, so I guess he wins. But again, it's my theme the whole year. Yeah, we get the W, but we're just not as good as that record shows. But, I'm in the mood of the event up in Oakland, so it doesn't even matter. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Condolences, Jeff. I know that you knew that guy very well. A group of five. Thanks. I'm out.
Appreciate you, John.
I agree with him though. I get it. Like he's just a very honest and a little pessimistic fan. I wonder, John, what's it going to take? What's San Diego State if they win the Mountain West? What will that call? They're going to win the Mountain West championship game, and John's going to call in and be like, "Yeah, I mean, we got the trophy, we won the conference.
We're just not very good.
We're just not very good." But I definitely agree with him about. I know we talked about the weather and everything, but I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat, Steeple. I like him too, but the creativity on offense is a little bit. It's been like that across the country. I feel like, and then on the other side, you get guys that try to get maybe too creative, And then we'll get on here and we'll say, that was stupid. Why you run a triple reverse flea flicker on, so it's tough, but yeah, man. Hey, San Diego State knockout blow to Boise, huh? Unbelievable. Well, I cannot believe how wrong I was preseason about Boise State, man. I can't believe it. But anyway, that's all we got for you today. We'll get the rest of those voicemails on Wednesday morning. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Share with your family and friends. Have a great week. We're out of here.